Hello everyone and welcome to my YouTube channel. Watch my video and subscribe my channel. Grace scams Bill for $1 million. Fake or real cure for Liam? Grace Buckingham does Liam Spencer's operation on Bold and the Beautiful, which is a twist because she lies to Bill Spencer on the CBS serial. Yes, she did get support from another medical practitioner, but she did this dangerous experimental surgery and lied to Bill about it. Bill Spencer was frantic to find a solution to save Liam Spencer on Bold and the Beautiful earlier this week. But then Grace Buckingham and $1 million from Bill came into play. Now it looks that Grace is up to more than meets the eye with this hidden surgery. Also, she looked like she really wanted to acquire that $1 million for the other doctor. It seems like her fee now, though, in this strange turn of events. Bold and the Beautiful. Grace gets a huge payout from Bill, putting Liam's life in danger. Soap dirt. Bold and the Beautiful. Bill Spencer suffers. Bill Spencer feels very guilty on the Bold and the Beautiful this week because everyone around him blames him for Luna Nozawa shooting Liam Spencer. Liam's rehabilitation from the gunshot wound is proceeding nicely. But now Liam has a different medical issue that doctors have previously said will kill him. Hope Logan tells Bill about Liam Spencer's terminal tumor diagnosis when she is yelling at the publishing mogul. Bill quivers through a round of nasty father allegations from Hope Logan and Steffi Forrester. Bold and the Beautiful, Liam Spencer. Rich Forrester also had his say regarding Bill's selfish behavior resulting to Liam fighting for his life after Luna shot him. But one person calmly takes this all in. Grace Buckingham. BNB. Grace Buckingham had Liam Spencer in her scope. Grace Buckingham has kept an extremely close eye on Liam since he arrived at the hospital. At one point, even Finn noticed how she seems to take a special interest in Liam's issue. But why? Once Liam Spencer comes out of his coma, Grace softly tells Bill that there may be a chance to save his kid. Next, in the Bold and Beautiful preview, we see Grace glancing at her cell phone screen, and the sum of $1 million is revealed. Bold and the Beautiful, Bill Spencer. This week on Bold and the Beautiful, Grace tells Bill this very experimental technique cannot be done or even discussed at the hospital. But she tells Liam and Bill that she has all the faith in the world that her colleague can pull it off and offer Liam a second chance at life. But it will cost roughly $1 million, which Bill sneezes at. He doesn't care about money. He wants to save Liam. But fans are stunned when the operation starts, and we watch Grace grab the knife and make the cut to Liam's head. Bold and the Beautiful. Bill and Grace whisked Liam away. Bill Spencer takes Liam Spencer out of the hospital this week on Bold and the Beautiful in a desperate bid to save him. Grace signed him out as his attending physician. The procedure happened at a surgical center that they pay to utilize, as it is forbidden to do this experimental procedure in a hospital. Both Bill and Grace received Liam's approval to do this operation, so he is on board with this. But Bill and Grace keep it a secret from the other medical experts in the hospital, along with Liam's family and friends. So, once people start to hear he is gone, red flags fly. Bold and Beautiful weekly spoilers July 14th to 18th. Bill snatches Liam from hospital, soap dirt. But something feels a touch odd with Grace on Bold and the Beautiful. It shows her staring at the $1 million in a text message on her phone. Then, after seeing who actually did the procedure, you have to guess that is her fee. Grace was once married to Dr. Reese Buckingham years ago. He was the doctor who abducted Hope and Liam's baby. She was not married to him at the time he did this crime for money. But other fans question if she also shares some of his traits. You can't help but wonder if, after once been married to this dishonest crook, maybe something rubbed off. The Bold and the Beautiful. What did Grace Buckingham do to Liam Spencer? But the real issue in this Bold and Beautiful plotline is, what did Grace accomplish in that operating room? She said Liam now has a chance after the tumor was removed. And it is straightforward enough to validate with another MRI of the brain for comparison of before and after. Or did she stage this operation by stitching up a superficial slice to the scalp that she made with her scalpel? If that is the case, and she manufactured this for a quick $1,000,000, then it is likely Grace Buckingham soon makes a wild rush out of LA with the money. Bold and the Beautiful. Liam Spencer, Grace Buckingham. Or Bold and the Beautiful can go another path with this. Maybe Grace believed that she had the expertise to execute this surgery, but she couldn't legally perform it. So, she saw this chance with Liam to try out her notion. If she did do the surgery because she believed she could, and if it is a success, then she could never accept credit for it. Instead, any random doctor becomes the hero. The doctor who acted like he didn't have a clue on how to do the procedure will go down in history for this miracle cure. So, will this plot turn out as a life-saving operation for Liam Spencer, or will B&B throw anything more into it on the CBS soap? Bill prays and offers to die in Liam's place. The Bold and the Beautiful recap for Wednesday, July 16th, reveals that Bill Spencer prayed and offered to die in Liam Spencer's place as Poppy Nozoa visited John Finn Finnegan at the hospital. At the exclusive surgery center, Liam was worried ahead of his procedure. Bill gave Liam a pep talk together with Grace Buckingham before she introduced her colleague, Dr. Adhikari. As Liam was ready for surgery, Grace reminded Bill about the money required. Bill eventually made a phone contact and got confirmation on the wire transfer going through. Once Bill marched around the waiting area, he eventually said a prayer and said to take him instead if someone had to go. Bill couldn't stomach losing Liam, so he prayed for his kid to be spared. Meanwhile, Grace seemed concerned as she used a knife to create an incision on Liam's head. Dr. Adhikari nodded at Grace to give her support, but the whole situation sounded incredibly sketchy. Once the procedure was completed on Wednesday's B&B episode, Dr. Adhikari didn't have much to say to Bill other than it went well. Grace convinced Bill that they pulled off a medical miracle, so he delighted over the tumor being gone and Liam having a chance to survive. Those were 1 in a million chances, according to Bill. At the hospital, Poppy seemed like she was looking for closure when she approached Finn to discuss Luna Nozoa. Poppy had a lot of regrets when it came to her daughter, but not being honest about Luna's father would torment her the most. Finn finally wasn't interested in addressing all this with Poppy and had to go deal with a patient. As for Bridget Forrester, she was taken startled to see that Liam wasn't in his room. Bridget was told that Grace has released Liam into Bill's care, so she provided Finn updates on that perplexing news. At Forrester Creations, Steffi Forrester, Hope Logan, Carter Walton, and Brooke Logan all talked about Liam being a hero. After Steffi called to check on Ms. Dillon, she talked about Bill apparently wanting to take Liam back to his apartment and still blamed him for a lot of what went down with Luna. Why 2 men were willing to die for Steffi Forrester? The Queen or just lucky? The Bold and the Beautiful spoilers show why both Finn and Liam were willing to take bullets for Steffi Forrester. Is she actually special or just fortunate? Bold and Beautiful spoilers. 2 men, 2 bullets, 1 Steffi. The Queen Bee or just plain reckless? Okay, we need to talk about Steffi Forrester and this incredibly wild pattern that's got the entire B&B fans in an uproar. Picture this, not 1, but 2 different guys have practically put themselves in front of bullets meant for Ridge and Taylor's daughter. First it was her husband Finn Finnegan getting a slug from his insane Mama Sheila Carter back in 2022. Now, Liam Spencer, yup, the Waffler himself, just played human shield against Luna Nozowa's gun. The burning question driving supporters apart? Is Steffi truly so unique? Or is she merely a magnet for danger who gets lucky with heroic men? The great Steffi debate, queen or chaos? Let me tell you, the forums are on fire about this one. Some fans are proclaiming Steffi as the ultimate leading lady. Facts. They love the Queen Steffi, one supporter gushed. And honestly, when you look at her credentials, CEO of Forrester Creations, dedicated mother to Hayes and Kelly, married to a gorgeous doctor who adores her, you can see why they're Team Steffi. But hold up. The haters came out swinging hard. Most other women wouldn't have been stupid like Steffi One critic fired back. Another zinged. Liam would have done the same for Hope, Beth, and Kelly. Ain't nothing remarkable about trashy bully Steffi Immo. Ouch. Tell us how you actually feel. Why does everyone want to kill Steffi? Here's where it gets juicy, and I mean juicy. Some fans are pointing out a pattern that's, well, it's hard to ignore. Steffi has this propensity of going toe-to-toe with hazardous people. Remember when she literally threatened Luna? You know, the maniac with a gun? One especially vicious fan wrote, Steffi has a way to make villains like Sheila or Luna hate her even more than they would hate a normal person. Steffi is violent herself, running around striking them or at least verbally abusing them until they attack her back. I mean, they're not wrong. This girl truly went and provoked a woman brandishing a firearm. Any wise person would have attempted the entire, hey, let's talk this out method. But no, Steffi in full confrontation mode because that's exactly who she is. And Liam paid the price with a bullet to the chest. The defense rests. Now before the Steffi stands come for me. Let's admit some truths here. This mother is taking care of Liam after he took that bullet. She hired Hope back after the whole coup catastrophe. She's truly pleased with Finn and has nothing reason to be jealous of Hope. I mean, look at their lives side by side. Steffi, CEO, lovely Cliff House, devoted husband who doesn't cheat, thriving fashion line. Hope, living at Carter's apartment now, can't keep a man, fashion line that's been up and down more times than a yo-yo. But speaking of living situations, can we talk about the real estate musical chairs? This has nothing to do with bullets, but everything to do with how chaotic these people's lives are. One admirer pointed out something that had me screaming. For a group of wealthy folks, nobody seems to own their own friggin' house. Hope and Beth are shacking up at Carter's. Liam's probably heading back in with Daddy Bill. Ridge and Taylor are essentially camping out on Eric and Donna's sofa. Even that renowned Cliff House? It belongs to someone else initially. And can we be genuine for a second? That Cliff House is a death trap for youngsters. It's tiny and set on a genuine cliff. One fan said it perfectly. I can see Kelly or Hayes falling someday. Yikes. Maybe getting shot at isn't the only danger in Steffi's life? So what's the verdict? Look, whether you think Steffi's worth dying for or just a trouble magnet, you can't deny one thing. The lady knows how to be the focus of attention. Two separate men, 3 years apart, each eager to take a bullet? That's either the ultimate proof of her magnetism or evidence that she ought to quit choosing fights with armed psychopaths. But here's my hot take. Maybe it's not about Steffi at all. Maybe Finn and Liam are just wonderful guys who would protect any woman in danger. The real question is why Steffi keeps finding herself in these circumstances. Is she brave? Reckless? A little bit of both? One thing's for sure. Being loved by Steffi Forrester can be dangerous to your health. Just ask the two guys with bullet wounds to verify it. What do you think? Is Steffi the queen who inspires loyalty, or merely lucky she's having heroic men around when her lips writes checks her body can't cash? Sound off in the comments, because this argument is far from over. The storm rolled in fast over Los Angeles, but it was nothing compared to the storm brewing behind the pristine walls of the secret surgical center where Grace Buckingham, flushed with adrenaline and dollar signs in her eyes, stood over the unconscious body of Liam Spencer, scalpel trembling between her fingers, the echo of Bill Spencer's desperate voice still ringing in her ears. Save my son! I don't care what it costs! And Grace didn't hesitate. Not when she saw the $1 million wire confirmation ping across her phone screen. Not when her unsteady hands made the first incision. And not even when Dr. Adhikari, the man who was purportedly the real expert, stood back like an intern as she conducted the impossible procedure. But here's the twist. Was the tumor ever even removed? Or was the entire operation a cleverly crafted hoax, spawned from Grace's long-buried desperation? Her complicated history with her criminal ex-husband Reese Buckingham, and her own ambition for power in a world that had always treated her like an accessory to other people's legacies? When Bill stormed into her life with money, leverage, and the one thing she craved, recognition, she made a choice that would alter everything. And now, days after the procedure, Liam lies in recovery, the sutures on his scalp healing, the MRI machine silent, as no one outside Bill, Grace, and the oddly silent Dr. Adhikari know what exactly transpired inside that operating room. Was the tumor removed? Or was it a placebo surgery aimed to purchase hope and time with a phony scar and a fake scan? Back at the hospital, Bridget Forrester is furious after discovering Grace released Liam without hospital board authorization. And Finn Finnegan is piecing together timelines that don't quite add up, especially Grace's obsessive hovering over Liam's case, the off-record meetings, the surgical supplies ordered to a facility no one at the hospital approved. Meanwhile, Bill, tormented by remorse, sadness, and the growing realization that he might have been played, starts digging. When Steffi Forrester and Hope Logan approach him about Liam's abduction, he assures Liam is safe and healing, but even he can't hide his growing misgivings. He replays Grace's words over and over. This procedure can't happen in any hospital. Why? Was it because it was so revolutionary, or because it was a fraud? In the shadows, Poppy Nozoa murmurs to Finn that she doesn't trust Grace, especially not after knowing she was formerly married to Reese, who famously faked a baby's death for cash. It runs in the blood. Poppy replies coldly as Lee Finnegan overhears and starts her own investigation. Meanwhile, Liam begins to wake, puzzled and confused. He feels the bandage on his head and asks the first inquiry no one expected. Did they even do anything? His memories are fuzzy. He remembers the prayer Bill whispered, the fragrance of antiseptic, Grace's voice trembling. But when Finn discreetly requests a second scan, what he finds might shatter everything. There's no indication the tumor was removed. It's still there, or worse, it never existed at all. Was Liam misdiagnosed? Or was the diagnosis real but the surgery fake? Grace insists the tumor was removed and points to the scans provided post-op, but Finn and Bridget immediately discover the scans were altered, presumably photoshopped from another patient. Grace is called to account, but before she can be arrested or interrogated, she disappears, with the $1 million transfer fully cleared and Dr. Adhikari gone without a trace. Bill loses his mind, convinced now that he's been played, that Liam was used like a chess piece in Grace's revenge game against the system that derided her, the hospital board that rejected her surgical theories, and the medical elite that never forgave her ties to Reese. But before anybody can find Grace, a new bombshell explodes. Liam collapses during a recovery walk and is transported to the ER. This time the CT scan shows 2 new lesions, suggesting not only that the tumor was never removed, but that the botched or fictitious surgery may have hastened the growth. Bill falls to his knees before Liam's gurney, whispering, "Take me instead," just like he did days ago before the bogus miracle surgery, now realizing his desire would come true in the worst way. Meanwhile, Sheila Carter, watching from her hospital bed, smirks when she hears Grace is on the run. "Another Buckingham bites the dust," she muses, amused that someone else is now wearing the evil crown. Steffi, knowing about the unsuccessful surgery, blames Bill all over again and violently bans him from visiting Liam, just like Taylor Hayes and Ridge Forrester once did after Luna's shooting. Hope tries to broker peace, but even she's torn. Did Bill strive to save Liam with everything he had, or did he dump his kid into the hands of a grifter without assessing her credentials? In a surprise no one saw coming, Luna's medical records are anonymously leaked, and they prove her tumor diagnosis was fabricated by a certain doctor. Adhikari as well. Is there a medical scam ring operating in LA? Is Grace the mastermind or the pawn? Bill hires a PI to track her down and provides a $2 million prize for her capture. And in a remote villa just outside Baja, a woman with dyed hair and a fake passport smiles at the news broadcast of Liam, Spencer fighting for his life again, and whispers, "I told you I could fool them all." But the final scene reveals the darkest twist yet. Grace never cashed the wire transfer for herself. It went into a secret trust for a teenage girl in New York, one named in hospital records as Ariana Buckingham, 17, terminal neuroblastoma. Is Grace a monster or a mother trying to buy her daughter a second chance with stolen hope?